right, all right. Hello, hello. Hello to everyone that
Hey,
is watching
hey.
today. My name is Elisa Scott. I am a part of the Elite Insurance Group. So, we are here today to let you, just get to know a little bit about us and, what we do, what our purpose is here. Happy to meet everyone. We hope to get plenty of likes, shares, subscribers. And if there's anything that we can help you with when it comes down to the insurance industry, as well as, getting your license, starting your career with insurance and finance, we are here for you. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Miss Latoya.
Okay, my name is Latoya Thomas, but I recently got married, so it's actually Latoya Lane once I get all that stuff situated. I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I currently reside in Wedower, Alabama.
Mhm.
All right, Michaela, what about you?
My name is Michaela Turner. I am a licensed life and health insurance agent on Elite Insurance Group's team. I am originally from Anderson, Alabama, and I currently reside in Birmingham, Alabama. All right, Alyssa.
I'm Alyssa Rowland. I also got married pretty recently, and I have also had trouble getting my name changed over. But I'm really happy to be part of this group. I feel like I've found somewhere where I belong, and I'm just happy to be here.
And so this is my team. I'm so happy to have these young ladies join me in the Elite Insurance Group. We also work under an umbrella company that is called Symmetry Financial Group. You just have to watch our channel for more information about that and come on and join this magnificent group of women as we navigate our way through the insurance and financial world. So, the way that we became the Elite Insurance Group, I was previously with another company where I was actually what they call a captive agent. And if you don't know, with a captive agent, you are only allowed to, sell for one carrier, and you're kind of stuck with those products. So your clients are more of a, in a take it or leave it type situation. And I didn't get into this industry to have to put someone in a box, right, or not be able to help them when they really needed any of the products that we carry. So I started to search around, and I found Symmetry Financial Group. I actually had joined them a little over 4 years ago, and at that time, because I was new to the insurance industry, it was a little scary because of it was commission only. I wasn't, I had never done commission only, you know what I mean? So, but it was commission only. And like I said, I was new and I just didn't know if I would have the skills, you know what I mean, to make it. Well, years went on. I did go into insurance, and then I found myself in a commission only job anyhow and did quite well. But like I said, I was captive. So I went back to Symmetry. And of course, they, welcomed me back with open arms. And thank goodness, throughout the journey between me being with Symmetry before and coming back, I met all of these wonderful ladies, right? So, and they were willing to actually come along with me to this new company, Symmetry. So, we put together what was called a study hall, and we'll talk a little bit more, about that here in just a minute. But us, becoming a group was basically because we all had the same aspirations in mind, to help people, to make sure that themselves as well as their family is covered, and that we can help people, build a retirement, have a debt-free life, and just like I said, provide some type of coverage so that there's a legacy left behind for their family
Latoya,
members. Tell me a little bit about what brought you to the Elite Insurance Group.
Well, mine was my journey was it's kind of all over the place. So I was working at a plasma center, which I didn't have any trouble moving up in the ranks. I moved up to I think QSA, but I had this donor. She kept coming in. Me and her became really, really, really close. And I asked her, I was like, "What do you do?" And she was like, "Oh, I sell insurance." I would never work another 9 to 5 ever in my life. And I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Girl, I make good money." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So she invited me to a interview at the company she was at. But when I got there, didn't realize like years prior that I had already had a temporary license. So I had went through the training process, but I had to have my actual license, which they didn't give me the blueprint as far as what to do and how to get that done. So I went on, found another job, and stumbled upon another insurance company within the same umbrella. So I met Elisa, and I mean, she was stuck to me like glue the first day I met her. She gave me the correct information that I needed to start my training and start my classes so I could get my license. So I was still working at the hospital, but she kept in contact with me every other day. She would always text me to make sure if I needed anything, or she would let me know about the study halls they would have. So eventually I went to a couple study halls, and then she called me and told me she was going to cemetery, and I said, well, I'm going with you. There was no question, but that's my journey on how I became a part of the Elite Insurance Group, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see where God takes us next.
Yes, I love it. So what
All
about
right.
you, Miss Michaela? Yeah.
Well, for me, more recently, I know in the past year and a half or so, it's been crazy. I was working in a warehouse for a manufacturing company as a warehouse associate. Hated it, did not like it. On top of that, I just recently got married, and then I was pregnant too last year. And Elisa is my mother-in-law, so that's how we know each other. But over the past few months, I watched her, and her in the insurance industry. And she's really inspiring, watching her hit her goals and making big money. I was like, oh, I need to get like her. But of course, being pregnant and everything, it's like I can't do as much. But I'm like, after I have this baby, we got to figure out something because I am not going back to the warehouse. And so after, having the baby and everything, I worked at Costco for the season for Christmas and everything. And so once that was over, I know Elisa was transitioning into Symmetry. And so she was getting ready to build her team. And she asked me if I wanted to join. I was like, you know what, at this point, let's do it because I'm not going back to Costco, not going back to the warehouse. So let's try it. And so I'm excited and happy to be a part of Elite Insurance Group. We are most definitely elite over here, and we are doing big things. So I'm just happy.
Yes, I love it. Okay. All right. So what about you, Miss Alyssa? Tell us a little bit, about what was your journey, how you became, part of the Elite Insurance Group.
So, I actually worked at the same place that Elisa worked at. Um, and we really did feel captive there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable there. The way everything ran, it's just not the place that I felt I was supposed to be. So when Elisa went and switched over, I messaged her and I was like, I'm gonna have to be a part of this. So I came over. This group has been so wonderful. Everybody is so welcoming and loving, and the support is just really amazing. So it's like I said, it's really nice to feel like you found somewhere where you belong.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And if I haven't expressed it or don't express it, enough, I truly am so appreciative of this team. The way that, we work together, we mesh well, we're able to go out, and enjoy ourselves with our head down sometimes. I know we work hard and we work a lot, believe me, but it's because of that end goal, you know what I mean, that we all have. But we always have each other's back. That's the part that I love the most about this team. It makes a huge difference. You know what I mean? When you're on a part of a team that is supportive, that you can call on others, you know what I mean, to help you out in tough situations, or you just got too much on your plate. And I never have a problem delegating anything, you know what I mean, to any of you, and you're happily ready to jump right in and do that. So like I said, if I haven't said it enough, I truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you ladies. And I just look forward to us continuing to grow, the group continuing to grow, the team continuing to grow. Y'all watch out because Elite Insurance Group, we are on the rise. I'm telling you, we take it over. We are taking over the insurance industry. So just a little bit about, like I said, this our study hall. So we have a study hall where we actually assist anyone that is aspiring to become licensed in the life and health insurance industry so that they can start a lucrative, career. And of course, from the time that you purchase your course, whatever online course it is that you have, or there's some states that don't even require, that you have a pre-licensing course. But of course, you have to take an exam in order to get licensed. So you're going to have to study something, right?
Mhm.
And we have a study hall that assists people, in doing that. We totally love, like we said, helping people. That's one of the reasons why we're in this industry anyway. It's because we like helping people. So not just on the end of making sure that you and your family are covered, but we like helping people to, start a lucrative career as well.
Mhm.
The reason that I even started the study hall, it started back when I was, with the other company where Alyssa and I both were, where I met Latoya. And I had an agent that was excellent in the field. She was one of the best that I had ever met. And then especially for her to be so young, like you would never know that she was as young as she is. But the problem was her passing her exam. Okay. So she goes for the first try, she fails it. It didn't knock her down as far as like her confidence in the field. She stayed a strong agent in the field, right? But she was feeling a little weary about, am I going to be able to pass this exam? Because in the state where we're in Alabama. So for 6 months, you can work on what's called a temporary license as you prepare to take the exam and get a permanent license. So, I did not want this young lady, number one, for her time to run out, because if the time runs out on your temporary, like Latoya was saying, after that, then you have no other choice but to go and pass the exam to get a permanent license. And I wanted this young lady to stay in this industry because of how good she was with her clients and things like that. So, like I said, first try, unfortunately, she failed. Second attempt, before she scheduled the second attempt, is when I was like, let's study together. Because I can remember how stressed out I was 4.5 years ago, trying to, number one, figure out what is all of this content, right? Like, because normally when you get into this industry, you really have no idea what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? And then when you sit down and start reading all that content that's in those online courses, a lot of it looks like foreign language. And it's
Mhm.
so much to take in to where you're like, are they seriously going to question me on everything that's in here? And now that we've all been through it, we know no, they don't, right? And it's really about trying to figure out what's really the most important, for you to learn. What are you really going to be tested on? Things like that. Well, we took, from her first experience, the exam that she, had taken and what she missed, and we started going over and studying those things. Now, at this point in time, it was just, she and I. We only had maybe, I don't know, it was less than a week. And she went back and tried the exam again, and unfortunately, she failed. Now I'm really starting to see where she's like, okay, maybe this isn't for me, but I'm thinking, no, this is for you because the way that she interacted with her clients, you know what I mean? And if someone else would call one of her clients after she's already been out to see them, they're like, oh no, I have an agent, right? So they have fallen in love with this young lady, but now she's starting to doubt if this is for her. So that's why I was like, okay, we're going to take this a step further and like actually do a study hall. Like not just you and I in here just going through a couple of flashcards. Like we're really going to start breaking down content. I'm going to start, looking for more resources that will help things stick, and us as humans, different things helps us remember, stuff, little rhymes, right? And silly sayings, and you know what I mean? Just all type flashcard. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many flashcards she and I went through during this prep, right? But lo and behold, after a couple of weeks of study hall, she goes and takes the exam and she passed with flying colors, right? So that's what really let me know, okay, this stuff is working. I don't want anybody else to come in as a new agent and go through that stress. Like I just don't. I don't want them to be stressed out like I was. And don't get me wrong, I passed my exam on the first try, but it was a lot of God in there. Okay, plenty of resources, and I probably had enough flashcards that I could have wrote a book. So I wanted to eliminate the type of stress I went through, and I definitely wanted to eliminate the type of stress that she went through. So that's when I formally put together the study hall and start inviting other, new agents to come in, study with us, learn those methods, right? So that, they can go and hopefully pass the exam on their first, attempt as well. So that's where our study hall came from. And we have helped so many agents along the way, with this. And I hear all the time about how helpful it was to them. I went to Dallas for our first conference with Symmetry last month. I can't tell you how many people walked up to me, had never, seen or spoken to me before, but they recognized my name on my name tag. So they look in. He says, "Scott, you're the study hall girl." You know what I mean? So these are people from everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Like it tripped me out, you know what I mean, for people to recognize just my name and know. And then I just start hearing all these, "Oh my God, I can't tell you how much you helped my agent, or I can't tell you how much you helped me." Like your study hall is just God sent. So I know that we're on the right path. I know it's the right thing to do, and that's why we continue to do it now. So I want each of you, to share your experience with study hall and how it helped you along your journey as well. Miss Latoya.
Okay, so at the time when Alyssa was texting me, she would text me either once a week, once, twice a week about the study hall. I was working 11 to 8, and I think the study hall was from like 10 to 12. So it was impossible for me to attend the study hall. So I told my husband, I said, "Look, I've got to step out on faith because I got to start going to these study halls." So I left my job and I attended the study hall that next week. I think I went to a couple of study halls before I took my exam, and I missed my exam by one from passing. So we continue to do the study hall, continue to do the study hall, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't have passed my exam without the study hall. That's just that's just it. I'm not capping. That's not lying. I'm just being honest. If without the study hall, I would not have passed because with the study hall, you get so many everybody encouraging everybody rooting for everybody, and it was what I needed to help me just to pass over that threshold. So I'm so grateful to the study hall.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, and to piggyback off Latoya, for me, I was one of the last people amongst the group to kind of join. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, everybody's getting their license. I need to hurry up and get mine." So I was like, my goal was to try to get mine in 2 weeks or less. And, of course, having a newborn baby, that's a struggle in itself. Trying to study this content when you can find the time. And I'm thankful for the study hall because it gives you that little hour and a half with other people to really focus on what you need to learn. And it's fun, especially with the Kahoot games, because you have this, "Oh my gosh, we're competing against all these other people in the group to see who knows the most and who gonna get the highest score," and trying to see who's gonna be in first place. So it's very fun and competitive, and it makes you like really want to learn the information. And just because of the game and stuff, it naturally just sticks in your mind. So when you go take the test, you're like, "Okay, I remember that from study hall," or "Yeah, I remember we talked about that and laughed about this." So the study hall is really, really good. I love it. And, I encourage agents to do it.
I love it. So what about you, Miss Alyssa? Give us a little background. What was study hall like for you?
Well, when I was at our last company, the program they had us studying on the course, um, I went to take the test and there was so much that was not on that course. So I went to take that test. I was really confident. I was like, "I've got this." I was making a, 90 on the course. I was like, "Okay, I've definitely got this. I'm gonna go for it." So I get in there and half these questions I have never heard of in my life. So I truly gave up from the beginning. I was like, well, I'm not going to know any of this, so I'm just going to kind of go for it and guess. And then I ended up missing it by 2 points. So had I not given up and had more confidence, I probably would have passed the test, barely, but passed it. So when I left there and we started doing our study halls, there was so much information that was not in the course that was on the test. So it was filling in so many blanks for me. And then, of course, the way we did it was way more memorable than just taking a test over and over and over and again. Because then you start to, recognize the question instead of knowing the answer.
Yep.
So I absolutely would not have passed without this study hall. It has been amazing, and it's even brought us all together. We're laughing and having a good time. So it's just such a better way to go about it than taking this test, 100 times and getting in there and still not knowing. So it filled in a lot of gaps for me, and we got so much more information. It just went a lot better the second time. So
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love it. And I agree. I wish I had something like that 4.5 years ago. You know what I mean? When I was going through this, because like I told you guys a lot when we were doing the study halls, I had to go back and restudy myself, right? Because the content, you're so right. Like the content that's in some of these online courses, number one, you don't see on the exam. You've heard all four of us say that now. You know what I mean? You don't even see that. It's almost like they test you on something totally different. So
Yep.
so when I sat down and looked at question one, I was like, am I taking the right test? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I'm in the right room. What are they talking about here? Because I didn't never read this, you know? So I wish I had something, like study hall then, because like I said, I feel like it would have taken a lot of stress off of me. And that's the type of learner that I am. And that's something that I realized though, right? Like when you get in there, when you got activities and people to that can relate to things, you got different people with different outlooks on stuff, or they'll give you different tips on, well, here's how I remember. You like, you know what? That stuff. Or somebody will say something crazy or tell this weird story. Like we even had times where sometimes we would be in study hall and get on this rant and somebody tells a story that may not even be related to the content that we were studying right then. But guess what? We remember the answer to that when we got to the exam because, I remember we were talking about, you know what I'm saying? Anybody else have that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
oh
Like,
yeah,
so it was just so crazy. It's the collaboration, I feel like.
Yep.
Is what helps, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, for you to be able to have someone else also that kind of breaks it down or remembered it from a certain thing or what have you, it helps it stick, you know? So
Mhm.
I'm so happy that we started, the study hall. I don't plan on ever stopping, you know what I mean, the study hall. Like because I know how it helps people. And if we can just help relieve some of the stress, because that's one of the most stressful things is studying for 100 to some of these states have 200 questions on their exam.
Mhm.
And some of us have been out of school for a long time. I'll admit it's been a minute for me. Okay, it's been a minute. So to just think about, I got to study for an exam that's going to be 150 questions, and I'm going to be timed. Ooh, I about went crazy. You know what I mean? Like seriously. But the study hall is put there not only for you to just grasp the content, but to try to relieve some of that stress. Because when you're at home and you're just studying this content by yourself, you feel like you is on no man's island. You're all alone in this fight. And sometimes just to know that you have some camaraderie and you've got some people that's in the same spot where you are, they're learning the same things, they're going through the same struggles. We're both trying to figure this thing out.
Mhm.
It relieves some of that stress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does. So study hall to me has been a blessing as well because it brought back a lot of stuff. And then I was also able to implement some materials there that we actually do use now from day to day because that was my original point. Some of the content that was in these courses we don't use day to day, and you'll lose it. You know what I'm saying? It's a use it or lose it type deal. Whereas the way that we break stuff down now, you know what I mean, and teach you in the stuff that's actually on the exam, we actually do use, and we're seeing that now as we produce. So it's been a blessing to me as well, you know. So I love it. I absolutely love it. So, anybody, you know, last thoughts or, you know, anything you want to say out there to our, you know, subscribers, our followers about, you know, yourself, Elite, you know, the study hall, anything, ladies?
Come join us. We
Most
need
definitely.
you.
Most definitely. This is
I
one
want
of the best groups I've ever been in. It's one of the best teams I've ever been on. So
I
go ahead,
want to
Latoya.
say something. I want to say something too. Sometimes the journey is not easy, and I can attest to that. We all can attest to that. The journey is not easy, but I think the end goal is what you're reaching for. So don't focus on the journey; just focus on the end goal.
Mhm.
I love that. I'm glad you put that out there. Alyssa's gonna remember this saying, where we used to be at one of the companies, one of the only things that I feel like our AD used to say that actually was insightful is pan out, right? Pan out. Don't look at just what's going on right now, like in this moment or
Mm,
today, or it may even be this week. You may have a bad minute, day, or week, right? But if you
mm,
pan out and look over the span of your entire journey, is it worth it? You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to pan out. And yeah, we're in a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? We're in what some would, you know, call a long-term game, but that's also why we have residual income. So we're going to still be seeing income next year and the year after from things that we did 3 to 6 months ago as well. So
mm,
that's a plus. That's a pro for us, right? But we may have a week where we didn't write a policy. We may have two. We may have 2 weeks where we didn't write a policy. Like that's just this industry. It really is. But if you pan out, it all is worth it. It really is. So you got to look over the span of your entire journey and not just the moment that you're in. Because with anything that's worth it, right? Number one, it takes hard work. It's always going to be a journey, and there will always be peaks and valleys. That's
mhm.
what lets you know it's worth it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what really lets you know that it's worth it. If it were easy, as the old saying goes, easy come, easy
Easy.
go,
Mhm.
right? So I don't know, especially me being in this industry and for the years that I have been, if I run up on something now that's easy, that's what scares me. Because I'm like, that ain't gonna last long and I ain't just make no money from it. I'm so serious. Like if this industry has not taught me anything, it's to have tough skin and be patient. Because when that pay comes in, all of it's worth it. So
Yeah.
I don't want any more easy money. I used to search for easy money. Okay. And that's probably why I stay broke. How about that? Okay. So any other final thoughts for me there, you ladies?
No.
Feel good? Well, once again, my name is Elisa Scott. This is the Elite Insurance Group. Come and join us. Let us help you get a license and start that lucrative career in the insurance and finance industry. We look forward to seeing you more. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.